Hello. Welcome to another installment of Outermost Uncle. This is installment number 11. Echoes of Victoria Hill, Juanita Vernecia, and an island's coming of age. Our final evening on San Salvador Island arrived. We were to meet Juanita Vernecia at the tip of the island. Juanita's son owns Just the One, a grocery store in North Victoria Hill. When we arrived, we were met with a friendly hello. Garnell, Juanita's daughter, is a lovely wisp of a thing. Dressed in slacks and a suit jacket, she welcomed us and gave me a hug. Garnell is a teacher at the local primary school. There was a bit of a hubbub as Garnell and her sister, Denise, who stayed in the periphery during our talk, set up chairs in the yard between the store and the house. Juanita emerged with her dog Teddy, an adorable little terrier with white fur and button eyes. "Is that your vicious guard dog?" I asked. We all laughed as Teddy checked us out. Garnell sat next to Juanita, and we arranged ourselves in a semicircle opposite. Dressed in a t-shirt and jeans with a watch cap on her head, I'm Juanita, or Vernicia. That's what it says on my passport anyway. Vernicia. She smiled. Juanita Vernecia has a hard time hearing. When we didn't speak loudly enough, Garnell helped by repeating our words louder. She was born on November 20th, 1936, at the house just next door to where we were seated. She is 87. She would have been just 21 at the time of Uncle Bill's disappearance. She remembers that day well, she says. When she learns that we have spoken with Nat Walker, she tells us that Jenny May, Nat's wife, is her cousin. Jenny May's father and Juanita's mother were siblings. As far as the island's involvement in the Cold War era Eastern Range, she said the U.S. Army Corps came first with their tents. Supplies were parachuted in. There were lots of Bell brand bread. She laughs and shakes her head. I remember that. I asked about her life during that time. She had gone to work in Nassau at the time the base opened up. Mama said, "Child, come home now. There were good jobs to be had." She came home and was hired right away, working jobs in the mess hall and laundry. She saw Bill and Don as they came down the line at the chow hall during lunch. That day they talked about seeing a monster fish and were going out for another dive to see what it was. Some animal took them. It was so sad. Folks found only a fin. She recounted Don Deal's memorial. The family gathered on the island. They went out in a boat with a wreath. There was no service for Bill. Juanita said Bill had been a friendly and quiet young man. He and Don rode all over the island on motorcycles taking pictures. And here's some of the pictures that Bill took. I asked if she visited the Rip. She lit right up, emphatically nodding her head. "Oh, yeah." Then she added, "I had my fun. Everyone went to the Rip and danced." She laughed as she spoke about fraternization between local women and the men from the U.S. "There's kids all around here. She's one." She pointed to her daughter, Denise. "She's one," she repeated, laughing. "Her nickname's Shaggy." I immediately joked, "Is she Bill's?" "Don't joke about that," John cut in. Juanita shook her head. "I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of her," she said. Juanita Vernecia eventually built her house in 1959. She raised 2 girls and 4 boys there. Garnell then spoke about the different entities that had studied San Salvador's history, topography, and archaeology. San Salvador is well researched. Loyalists brought their slaves here and created large plantations. Watling's Castle, the place with the ruins and the creepy banana trees in the well, had been a manor house for a plantation. The owners had documented their day-to-day activities. If you drive down that way, she pointed east, you'll see some steps going up into the hill. There are 2 graves of the plantation owners and the whipping post. The island has gone by many other names. Wait, back up. The whipping post? There's a whipping post? Garnell nodded her head. That's what we saw up those steps way back in installment number whatever. The graves and the stairs up by the whipping post. Garnell has been working with different agencies to keep a library and open a museum on the island. That 5-mile by 12-mile island has so many stories to tell. An open museum would be a huge asset. With our thoughts turning to the beginning of our trip home the next day, we stood to say goodbye. Denise came to help gather the chairs. I had a few airline flights ahead of me, lots of time ahead to gather my thoughts. Back at the Airbnb that night, I checked comments on my blog. There was one from Marie on an early installment. She said she was present when we spoke with Juanita. This began a private dialogue between the two of us. I've found there is much to learn about Marie.